Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video here, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. So today I wanted to do an unboxing of two Louis Vuitton leather goods that I purchased when I was in Paris. And if you haven't checked, I recently did an unboxing of a Chanel bag that I bought at the Paris Flagship. So I'll make sure to link that at the very top. But this is an unboxing from actually two of their stores. One is the actual Flagship. So like the last video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox these two items. Then I'm going to go over the experience purchasing in Louis Vuitton from, Paris, which is where they were founded. I'm going to give a review of, tips and tricks, price differences, which store you should go to, reservations, and all that good stuff. So please like this video and subscribe for future content. In this video, I will be doing an unboxing, but I won't be doing any thorough reviews. And of course, like I briefly mentioned in my last video, after this video, the next video will be me going over the tax refund process, more specifically the VAT process, so you can get an actual idea of exactly how much money I saved. That's going to be a really good video. As a quick teaser, these bags I saved, let's just say a few $100s, almost $1,000. So again, for the exact amount, please subscribe and stay tuned for my next video. So here's the first bag. As you can see, it's huge. It barely, fits into a frame. This is my hand for comparison. And like the video I last did with Chanel, I will give an overview of their packaging. So unlike, Chanel, even if you go to their flagship, you will get the exact same packaging as any other store you go to across the world. So that is one thing to note. In terms of like the last video, like I mentioned for Chanel, if you wanted to get the original packaging that you can't get anywhere else in the world, you had to go to one store, but at Louis Vuitton, it really doesn't matter. Great, so let's go ahead and let us unbox this based on the size of this bag. Do you guys have a guess of what this is? Let me go ahead and open this. I removed all the ribbons just so it's a little bit faster and easier, but let's go ahead and take out the box. And let me put this bag to the side. Right, so here is the box. Again, super massive box. So if that doesn't give you a better hint, then let's finally open up the item. And again, I've already taken off all the ribbon just to make it easier to unbox. Any ideas now? Well, here it is. So here is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull in black empreinte. This has been a super popular bag since it came out last year. As you may know, usually all the Neverfulls are in their canvas or epi. Sometimes throughout the years they've come out with different designs, but the empreinte was quite a hit. So let me just give you a quick overview. Again, nothing too specific or too in-depth. I will be doing another video on that, comparing this to the canvas piece. But again, black empreinte. If we open it, I don't know if you guys can see, this inside is actually blue. This bag is made in France, which is great, because usually if you buy it here in the US, it'll either be made in the US or it'll be made in Spain. Not very likely that you get this made in France. And then of course it comes with the black mini pochette-like bag. And one thing that I did want to note about the pochette that is different, so of course it does come hooked to this bag. Let me unhook it. But the one thing that is different about it, and again, it's sort of hooked on by here, but the zipper closure is actually, there's a space right here where you can hook this. So again, I'll be doing an in-depth comparison compared to the canvas Neverfulls, but you don't have this opening on the canvas pochettes, meaning that for this one, you can actually sort of loop it through. And it almost looks like, almost like a mini bag. You can, hang it across your shoulder or hold it like this. It's a bit easier. You don't have to just use it as a wristlet. So there we go. That is my first unboxing. So moving on to the next unboxing, quite a smaller bag, but still not their smallest size. Let's go ahead and let's take out the box. Box is a little bit wider, so maybe that'll give you a hint that it's not something super small or foldable like the Neverfulls. But here we go, classic orange box. Again, I've taken off all the packaging. Let us go ahead and open this up. So again, still a little bit hard to tell exactly what this is. Let me give you guys a peek of the color. So that's their gold honey. Any ideas now? And here we are. This is the Buci, B-U-C-I. It is a bag from their very last season. It comes in this gold, it comes in a hot pink, a white beige, and then a black. So again, quick overview. I'll be doing a separate review, but this is epi leather and enamel LV, super shiny. The bottom isn't actually epi, it's cowhide, so it's super smooth. Comes with these tabs right here. Comes with an amazing back pocket that will easily fit your phone, and silver hardware. And if we were to open this, magnetic closure still has, you know, all the tape on it. But this is the strap. Let me take that out. The inside is sort of this brown microfiber lining. A huge sort of space for you to put anything you want, and then this one pocket right here that is helpful for storing passports or, you know, notes or, you know, anything that's a little bit slimmer. So here she is. Great, so now let me go ahead and show you how the shoulder strap works. It is a bit different than what you might normally be used to. So as you can see right here, this is it on the shortest length, and this is just perfect for your average, you know, off the shoulder. Also wanted to note the attention to detail. As you can see, that says Louis Vuitton right there. But essentially what you do is you take these snaps, you unbutton them, and then you can move your way up. So that was the shortest setting. If we move it up just a little bit, we can snap it right there, and then snap this one on the second one. And as you can see now, it's a little bit longer. Probably would be a little bit more comfortable to wear just, you know, off the shoulder hanging down versus, you know, a shoulder bag. And then of course, if we unhook it right here, we can have it go all the way to the top. And if we have it go all the way to the top, again, clip it in right here. Now it is a super long crossbody bag. And of course, if you did have, you know, a silver chain or anything else, you can just directly unhook it and then, you know, maybe use a chain strap if you wanted it to be a little bit more dressy. So now jumping into the price of the Louis Vuitton Neverfull in Empreinte. This in the US currently retails for $2,710. They just had a price increase, which was quite brutal, especially on the Neverfulls. In Paris, I was able to get this for 2,000 euros. So 2,000 euros is about like maybe $2,200 USD. So there was already quite a bit of savings just because Louis Vuitton is one of those brands that is cheaper in Paris. But again, I'll be doing a video that is going to be next about the exact amount that I got off after, you know, that price savings, about how much they refunded me for the tax refund. So moving on to the next bag. The next bag right here, the Boosie. Boosie is currently retailing in the US for $2,230. Previously it was $2,150, so, you know, about $100 price increase, which looking at all the other numbers they had wasn't too brutal. And this in Europe previously was 1,550 euros, and then the day I got it, it literally had just increased back up to 1,650 euros, so about a $100 difference. So that converted to about USD is about maybe 1,850. So again, already a price savings just from buying it in Paris, excluding the VAT refund. And again, I will do a video that will be next that is going to be going over exactly how much I got off on both of these bags after the tax refund. Please like this video if you found it helpful so far, and make sure you subscribe to get notified when I post detailed reviews for each of these bags, and for my next video when I go over exactly how much I paid for each of these and how much of a savings I got after Euro conversion and after the tax refund process. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's go into some tips and tricks. So if you watched my last Chanel video, you may remember that I said, you know, please go to the Chanel flagship if you can. Now with Louis Vuitton, I would say it's not as a necessity because as you can see from the packaging, it's the exact same no matter where you go. Since Louis Vuitton is based in Paris, a lot of their stores are huge, even the ones in department stores like, you know, Galeries Lafayette. And for the most part, as long as you're not looking for a hard to get seasonal item, like let's say the Boosie, the Morel, or, you know, maybe the Post-Red Accessoires, you can really go to any store because you'll get the exact same experience. All of that being said, what I will say is that almost all of the Louis Vuittons I went to, even the one in the department store, which again is at Galeries Lafayette, all of the ones I went to except Saint Germain had a huge wait. So I'll go ahead and I'll insert some pictures here on the screen, but it's absolutely insane. Would not recommend waiting in those lines. So unlike Chanel, for Louis Vuitton, I would say that booking an appointment is a must. And again, comparing it to Chanel, since that's quite popular and they also have a reservation system. Unlike Chanel, Louis Vuitton will not reach out to you at all before your appointment. So it's mostly just to make sure that you don't have to wait in line. And I will say that will probably save you at least, 30, 45 minutes. Again, I went in February, on a weekday, basically should be very low tourism rates and things like that. And there was still a huge, massive line. So I can't imagine going during peak season or any other holidays. So with Louis Vuitton, I would say absolutely book an appointment. You can book multiple at different stores as well. One other thing about Louis Vuitton that is different than the US or maybe a country that you're based out of is I'll go ahead and I'll insert a picture of what it looks like online. But if you are in the US, you may be used to going online, looking for an item, and then it says out of stock online, but you also can't see what stores have it in stock. It only says, find a store near you. But with Paris, or France specifically, you can actually see which stores have which items. So again, I'll put an example of what it'll look like, but you can go ahead, put in your zip code, and it'll show you on a map which stores have those items. So that's great because you know which stores to go to and you don't need to waste your time running around the city. Something else I will say that is very helpful is, go to the store that is maybe closest to you or that you're most likely to get a bag, and get the contact of an SA, because they can reserve bags for you without paying. So what actually happened is, and again, I'll give a better story when I do a full video on this Boosie, but this Boosie was probably the hardest to find bag in Louis Vuitton, in all of Paris. Like, not even joking, it was literally harder than any other bags. They didn't have any. So I basically settled for the Morel. We'll insert a picture here. The first day I went, and then the next day I saw they had a black Boosie. So then I got the black Boosie, and then I saw that this came in stock, which was the color I originally wanted, and then I wanted to exchange it for this bag. Basically, I was able to have the SA put it on hold for me, and it's actually like a reservation number. I'll try to insert a picture of what it looks like, if I can. So basically, I was able to take my time and commute to the store without having to worry that somebody would snag the very last bag in all of Paris. Now let's talk about everybody's favorite question, what was available? So for Louis Vuitton Paris, I was actually shocked at how little they had in store. So I knew before I went on this trip that I wanted to purchase the Boosie. I didn't think it would be a huge issue because every single Louis Vuitton store that I went to here in the States, I went to one in Chicago, went to ones around my house, in a completely different state, they all had the Boosie. And then they were like, you know what, if we don't have this color in stock in our store, we can actually order it for you. So like, okay, if the US has more than enough, then I'm sure France will have all of them. And this was despite it not being online at the US. Again, I wasn't worried because France is the flagship, so why wouldn't they have it if the US had all of them? But actually, a lot of the bags, especially the ones that I noticed that are a little bit more popular, a little bit more seasonal, and maybe even cheaper than, let's say, the Capucines or the Cousin that they're trying to really push right now, those bags they don't really produce a lot of. And this is just my speculation, but as you can see, this Neverfull was made in France. My guess is that they tried to have the bags produced in France be shipped to the French stores and then have the bags produced in Italy, Spain, or of course the US shipped to the US. It's easier like that, for logistical reasons, for supply chain reasons. But if you have been keeping up with news, a few weeks or months ago, a bunch of Louis Vuitton factory employees walked out basically saying like, hey, like, we're not going to work until you increase our pay. So with that being said, the France factories weren't really producing it a lot. And of course, my guess is that they'd rather produce the more expensive bags, maybe the more popular bags, the one that aren't seasonal. So the Boosie was not being produced at all. I was in Paris for a week, and the entire time that I was in Paris, only 2 Boosies came up. I literally checked it every single day. The black one came up, which I snagged, and then eventually exchanged for this one, and then this Boosie right here. Other than that, they had never came in stock. One option is to order online before you even get to Paris and then pick it up in store. That might be a good option if you want to make sure that you can get the bag. But when I was in store, I was actually told that if you buy it online, you aren't guaranteed to get the tax refund. It's almost, per discretion as to who is helping you that day, which, chain you go to, but you can't really guarantee it. So if you're willing to take the loss on the tax refund to get a really popular bag that you've always wanted, then sure, go ahead, buy online and pick up in store. I really quickly wanted to note that if this is an option you are considering, I would start checking the website about 2 to 3 weeks before you plan to arrive, because in my case for the Boosie, even if you ordered it, there was a 2 to 3 week delay for when you could actually pick it up to the store. So that is another trick if you are looking for a harder to find item. However, on the other hand, again, for the more basic items that they are always producing, the Speedy, the Neverfull, the Capucines, all of those bags, they had them in stock in every single store. So that's why this Neverfull right here, I actually bought at Saint Germain because I wasn't really planning on going into LV again, but there wasn't a line. And considering the massive price difference between the US and Paris, which again, I will touch on in my next video, I decided to cave in and I bought this Neverfull. One other thing that might save you time if you are planning to make a purchase in Champs Elysees is that the US and the French accounts are actually somehow connected. I wasn't expecting that. It's not like that for Dior. It's not like that for Chanel. But when I was at Champs Elysees, they asked me, what's the email address connected to your account? And I said, I've never shopped in France before. They said, don't worry, the US one is connected. So that was one thing to note is, I was able to use my same account. So if you want to maybe save time at checkout, to make sure your address is all right, your name, stuff like that, you can make your account in the US and then be able to use that in France. However, I'm not sure if this was a Flagship thing, but again, I was able to do this at Champs Elysees, but at Saint Germain, they weren't able to connect it to my US account, so I had to remake a French account. So maybe if you aren't going to Champs Elysees, I would just say don't do it, save your time, and then see when you go into the store if they will make you make an entirely new account. One other thing I wanted to note if you are looking for a harder to find bag is you really have to be prepared to sort of go to the store at any random time. They were telling me that they don't really know what bags they're going to get. I guess in France they have one central storage place, and then every single day they'll essentially send a few bags to each store, so the store has no idea what they're going to get until the morning of. So if you do want to see what stores has the bag, refresh it super early in the morning, like even 8 or 9. Stores usually open at 10, but the system is very accurate. The moment that my sales associate put this back on reserve, it automatically showed as unavailable in the store. So the system is very fast, live, and up to date. In regards to what stores I would recommend going to, I would recommend going to Champs Elysees just to get that experience. It's an absolutely huge and beautiful store. But other than that, it really doesn't matter. All the stores are the same. They all have the same packaging. If anything, I would go to the ones without the longer waits. One thing that I did notice is that Galeries Lafayette, ironically, even though it was in a department store, they had a lot of stock. And my guess for this is that people wanted to go to the actual full store, get the experience rather than buying from a department store. But again, if you don't care too much about the experience, you just want the item, then maybe you want to check out Galeries Lafayette as well. So with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. Again, please give it a like if you found it helpful. Please subscribe to see other videos of mine, and thank you so much for watching.